The objective of the liberals is to destroy this country.
That was Herman Cain. He needs no introduction. Just toss it out, red meat, out of a crowd of right-wingers back in February. But now that Cain is a GOP frontrunner, I'm sure he's adopting a more reasonable and responsible tone. Here he is on Meet the Press.
You think liberals actually seek to do that, that's their mission, to destroy the economy?
That's the conclusion that I have drawn.
Not mismanagement,
no,
but it's their mission.
It is their mission, because they do not believe in a stronger America, in my opinion. Yes.
Yep. The GOP frontrunner believes that liberals are purposely destroying the economy because we do not believe in a stronger America. And it just doesn't end there. According to an op-ed Cain wrote last December, liberals are also to blame for the death of Jesus Christ. You see, until recently, Cain's polling numbers allowed the pizza man to get a pass on all of his positions and all of his opinions. Here's Cain talking immigration last summer.
And it'll be a 20-foot wall, barbed wire, electrified on the top, and on this side of the fence, I'd have that boat that President Obama talked about, and I would put those alligators in that boat.
Cain later claimed that using alligators to protect America from undocumented workers, well, it was just a joke. Well, over the weekend, Cain proved that he has a much more serious plan for border security. No alligators this time around.
Part of it will have a real fence, 20 feet high, with barbed wire, electrified, with a sign on the other side that says, "It can kill you." It'll be in English and Spanish.
Joining me now is Steve Kornacki, political columnist for Salon.com, and MSNBC political analyst, Republican strategist Joe Watkins with us here tonight. Good to have both of you with us. I want to play this. Once again, Cain claimed he was just joking. Here's his response.
That's a joke, David.
It's a joke. So
that's a joke. That's a joke.
That's not a serious plan.
That's not a serious plan. No,
okay.
It's not.
And today, Cain met with Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who has advocated for harsh immigration measures. Steve, is this a joke or is it not a joke? Will the real Herman Cain stand up on how to protect the country's borders?
Well, I'll tell you, when you get it to its core, I think it's a really shrewd campaign strategy. I mean, whether he's joking, deep inside, or whether this is getting at some underlying truth about what he really thinks, it's a really good strategy, and I'll tell you why. The whole story of the Republican race has come down to, can the conservatives find that one candidate who they can kind of rally behind, the conservative activists and the conservative base, to go after Mitt Romney? And one of the things that sort of distinguishes the Mitt Romney that's running this year from the Mitt Romney that ran 4 years ago is that this year's Mitt Romney is taking sort of a front-runner strategy. He's very conservative on paper still, but he's refusing to sort of throw all the red meat out there like he was 4 years ago, because he's afraid it's going to come back to haunt him in the general election. So there is an opening for that conservative who's willing to say all the things that Romney said 4 years ago times 100, and Cain's certainly living up to that.
Joe Watkins, do you agree with Republican frontrunner when he says that liberals are on a mission to destroy this country? I mean, I know a lot of elected officials, and they are absolutely in a gut-wrenching position right now with our unemployment the way it is, trying to create jobs. And then here comes this guy on a platform on national television quite often saying that liberals want to destroy the economy. Where are the Republicans on this guy in that comment?
Well, I think that Herman Cain is a very smart candidate, and it's no mistake that he's leading the field right now, or at least tied for first place among the contenders for the Republican nomination. He realizes where he is. He's in a Republican primary. Most of those primaries around the country are closed primaries. That means only Republicans can vote in those primaries. And he has really carved out a place for himself with his plain speaking. Some of what he says is very controversial, of course, and not every Republican agrees with every statement that he makes. Clearly I have friends who are both liberals and Democrats and conservatives and Republicans and people who are everything in between. And I've got love in my heart for everybody. I know that a lot of these elected officials who are Democrats, along with the Republicans, care about the country and want to move the country forward. And they have, indeed, very, very difficult decisions to make in the weeks going forward. So my heart goes out to them all, and my hope is that they'll do the right thing.
But, Joe, liberals on a mission to destroy the country, the country's economy, isn't that over-the-top rhetoric?
Well, it's strong rhetoric coming from a plain-spoken man who doesn't shy away from controversial statements. He doesn't want to offend people. He went so far as to say recently that he was sorry if he had offended some people with his statement about the fence, and that he really is sensitive to that because he knows what it is to have people speak in an unflattering way toward him. But at the same time, he's very plain-spoken, and he realizes that not everything he says is popular, that everybody's not going to jump up and agree with him on everything he says.
He's throwing raw meat out there. He's throwing the red meat out there. He knows that it's going to play well. He knows what's going to poll well. Gentlemen, there's a new study out that shows that under Cain's 999 plan, Warren Buffett would very likely pay no income taxes. Wouldn't that destroy the economy, Steve? What do you think?
Well, yeah, and I think what's interesting here with this plan is, first of all, if he ever got the nomination, if Herman Cain was ever the Republican nominee running in the fall, I can't imagine a plan that Obama and the Democrats would rather run against than what Herman Cain has put on the table, because this thing is really the definition of regressive, because you're talking about implementing, a 9% sales tax, and you're telling, basically every working class person in the country, every middle class person in the country, you're now responsible for paying this brand new tax. But the other thing that I'm picking up on the last few days is even I think some Republicans and some conservatives sort of get the political danger here. And what I've noticed is even on the right, there's a lot of talk now that hey, maybe we shouldn't go quite this far.
Joe?
Well, what you have to consider is that this is a plan, and plans can be changed. They can be improved upon as well, because most plans are not perfect. This one is not perfect, but it's a good idea to think about having a flat tax, a simplified tax code. Others have thought about simplifying the tax code. My friend,
but he denies,
a Democrat.
He's trying to say that the math works out. Joe, he's trying to say the math works out, and it simply doesn't.
Well, you need some work on the plan to make the math work the way you want it to for everybody. Obviously, it's a federal plan, so it would impact different states differently because some states have no sales tax and other states do. But this is a plan that could be amended, that could be put together to work for America, and it needs some work. We know that no plan that's introduced by a president goes forward as it is. It's amended by members of Congress who add and detract from it.
Mission accomplished for his campaign. He's got people talking about 999, and I think that's really what it's all about.
They're saying it over and over again.
I also think his relationship with the Koch brothers is something we got to bring you back and talk about. It's very interesting. Steve Kornacki, Joe Watkins, good to have you with us tonight. Mitt Romney claims he's looking out for the middle class, but Wall Street millionaires think he's looking out for them and are rewarding him for it. I'll have that next. Stay with us.